Hello and welcome back to the Insane Build Psychiatric Ward of Chug that Estes. Today we'll be evaluating your sanity and another necromancer build. This one is a mix between the pyromancer and the ice maiden sorceress, as we will be doing a bit of both. If you haven't seen those videos yet, why? Now I suppose you're going to say you are unsubscribed editor? Well, I'm waiting. Listen, okay? I've got some video time to cover, as this part is a bit of a necessity. You see, I must bat and blood and offer some virgins as sacrifices to bring back a few corpses back to life. Nothing too fancy, just the usual routine. Also, we need to be a bit selective with the corpses we choose. Some aren't fresh enough and won't last as long. This is a really boring process, but a necessary one. I highly suggest going for Deathlords, Brutes, Knights. The big three men from Act 3 are also pretty strong, and Maulers are especially good against bosses. This is mainly why we picked the Decorate skill, so we can summon corpses without having to kill monsters, and it allows us to be a bit more selective with your summons. Because you know, nobody wants to summon crawlers. But as shown on TV, I mean, your screen, this is a BrandMancer. So similarly to my previous pyromancer build, we aren't just some pet following the summons around waiting for them to beat the path. We are helpful. The current bonemancer, you know, the one that uses teeth and bone spear, is a bit weak currently, so if the skill tree is buffed a bit, this may result in this build being even stronger. So we use revive monsters, and we help them with the runeword bow. Our bone spear does almost 4k and a half damage, and just like my ice maiden sorceress, the more monsters the better it gets, as we have more chance to cast based on how many monsters our arrow pierces. So there will be two major stats that we will be focusing on for this build to reach maximum effectiveness. Attack speed and a chance to pierce. Every single other stat will be aimed towards survivability, because if it wasn't obvious, slower attack speed means less chance to cast bone spear, and if your arrow doesn't pierce, well, shit. I did make a few mistakes while I recorded this video with my gear and stats. I will try to correct those along the way. This build has probably two big weaknesses, one being bosses, as hitting a single monster will not help toward casting more bone spears, but revives with M damage should be able to take them out fairly easily. But your own damage will be absolute dog poo poo. The other weakness are magic immunes, and this one can get pretty annoying, especially in maps with creatures that use crawlers, and the other one being a great mummies in tier 1 maps, the one that resurrects skeletons. Ideally you want to blood warp next to them so your summons can kill them easily, and of course it can place you in a dangerous position to teleport close to them. But overall, I think this is a pretty decent build and it is very fun to play as it changes from the classic summoner. With that being said, I will go ahead and start with the skill setup. Starting with a revive, 20 points in, obviously this is your lifeline and secondary source of damage. A single point in blood warp to teleport around, then you want to max each synergy of the bone spear, namely bone spirit, bone armor, teeth. Everything else into amplify damage. You also want to click 1 point into desecrate if you want to be able to select pick your revives. It helps quite a bit. Now with that out of the way, I will reskill to show how much damage Brand Bone Spear does. It's level 35, so I will need some skiller charms to increase it. Luckily, we have those in the pluggy starter pack. So, level 35 Bone Spear, dealing 4000 to 4,500 damage. I will say totally acceptable damage. Considering that is, in a good scenario, we can spam it faster than pure BrandMancer can, but at the cost of some of its damage. Alright, gear is next. Starting with the Merc, simply equip with survivability in mind. The only piece that matters is the beast weapon for Fanatism aura. Being a necromancer, your attack speed with the bow is disgusting. Fanatism will allow you to reach the last attack breakpoint without breaking your bank, reaching for both max speed and max spears. I use Giant Skull. This helm is insane, 35 pierce chance, a ton of strange. and knockback. You need to suck at it with two 15 increase attack speed jewels. Ideally, if those have some resistances as well, it is even better. I went with Chain of Honor for the armor, Life Leech, an insane amount of resistance. There is no more reason needed to pick this one up. The boots are... Damn, not those boots again. Threads, let's call them Dreads. Those gives 20 chance superiors and it's all we want from them. Razor Tail Belt gives us a ton of pierce chance, no other reason to use them either. Draco's Gloves giving us more life leech, strange, and more importantly attack speed. With Giant Skull Jewels it gives us a total of 50 increased attack speed from our gear, and it is exactly the number we need to reach the last breakpoint with Fanatism on a blade bow. Obviously we use runeword in a blade bow. We don't care about physical damage, so the faster the better. In the showcase I was using the angelic set for the rings and amulet, but then I realized that runeword gives in your target defense. Duh. So my suggestion is to replace those with 2 Wisp Projector or 2 Nature Piece. Both Oak Sage and Earth of the Wolverine are pretty useful, one for survivability and the other to increase our summon and merc damage. As for the amulet, I suggest Maras or Atmas. Maras will give you a lot of resistances, and Atmas will allow you to not have to cast amplify damage, so you can just shoot your bow all day, it doesn't matter. On swap, you could use a Note Runeword. It gives a nice plus 8 boost to Heart of Wolverine, and a Lidless Shield gives plus 2 to all skills, giving us a level 21 Heart of Wolverine. This is pretty insane. And there you have it. This is the BrandMancer. If you think of a way to improve this build, you have suggestions for a build to try, or simply want to leave positive or constructive feedback, hit the comment section. If you are unsub now is a great time to do so, and if you enjoyed the video, break that like button. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want more of those weird build ideas, you know what to do. Thanks for watching, until next video, take care and bye bye.